With what's happened in the last 2 years, we've seen the food price index reach an all-time high. COVID-19 had already lent a lot of disruptions to the market, from logistics to labor and to demand. But those impacts have only been heightened with what's happening with Russia and Ukraine. And more companies are now approaching us because they're seeing gaps in their procurement strategies. They're not being able to assess the inflation better. They're not being able to plan better. Even though organizations, and I'm not just talking of small organizations, even large organizations who have mature CRM functions in place, are not being able to analyze the trends in the market, predict the uncertainty better, and predict the movement in the market in real time. To give you an example, a lot of companies in the UK, for example, could not see COVID-19 impacting their supply chains much before February, whereas COVID-19 broke out towards the end of December, right? It's understanding how are these small events that happen at one part of the world slowly can move on to the rest of the world. And that's why companies are coming to us and talking to us and understanding what they can do. The SmartCubes commodity intelligence solution is completely flexible and be tailored to any organization's requirement. No matter where you are in your commodity risk management maturity curve, whether you're a company who's just experimenting with it or you're an organization who has a full-fledged CRM function in place, we have a solution that can fit each need. Today, as a company, we bring in 3 core pillars of offerings. We bring in fundamental insights, advanced analytics, and strategic governance. For companies who are just starting out on their CRM journey, organizations that are seeing that data is disparate, they are relying heavily on their suppliers for information, we can come in and help you standardize a lot of that intelligence and data, bring it all in one place, make sure that you as a procurement manager have good insights on not just the price movement, but also the cost drivers and other factors that impact prices today. We can come in and help you not just with your fundamental insights, but also with advanced analytics, using artificial intelligence and traditional forecasting methods to improve the accuracy of your price forecasts, and bringing in other modeling techniques to understand seasonality, the value at risk, understanding your production costs, and so on and so forth. And then within advanced analytics, we're not just focused on just the external market insights. We can bring in that analytical capability to understand what the risk of price movement or price volatility can be on your spend. What is your exposure? So helping you with VAR assessments, helping you with inflation modeling, helping you with PPV analysis is something that we can also undertake within the advanced analytics. And now finally moving on to the third stage of CRM maturity, we're talking of organizations who have strong CRM policies in place, organizations that invest in basically reducing their exposure by dealing in financial instruments. These are the type of organizations that typically have dedicated teams and dedicated category managers working on these commodities day in and day out. Now, one would question, what does an external company like SmartCube come in and offer? It's very important to still understand that while you might have dedicated teams who can focus on the commodity bit, we can come in as procurement experts and match some of that commodity to the category risk. So helping you develop those proactive category risk dashboards, where you can monitor category level risks embedded with commodity insights. We can also come in and help you with the strategic governance around commodity risk management. So helping you report better, helping you create the right hedge schedules, the quantitative models, and so on and so forth. In summary, we can offer you support no matter what your maturity is in CRM, whether you're looking for fundamental insights or you're looking for advanced quantitative modeling. The top tips that I can give any procurement organizations to manage the inflation that we're seeing today is, first and foremost, don't be quick to move your supply out of country A to country B. Of course, if your supply is getting impacted due to aspects such as sanctions, it makes sense, right? But very carefully evaluate how you would like to leverage arbitrage, because where impact today might sort of trickle down into other countries and regions as well. Talk to your critical suppliers, leverage those relationships, and hedge some of your supply. Cover long right now. And if you get some sort of pushback from your supplier, try and work on those other aspects that you can bring in to bring in those cost reductions. It's important also to then understand what the impact might be for the ingredients that you're buying. Today, what we know is the is the price inflation that we're seeing on core commodities, reported commodities, traded commodities. But we don't know what the impact of that might be on some of the functional ingredients that you might be buying. So understand that and map that value chain. Important to also be very transparent within your internal teams. Talk to your finance teams, talk to your commercial teams, talk to your board. Advise them on what the inflation situation is today and how it is here to stay. Because you will have to rechart your strategies, whether your commercial strategy or your financial planning for the coming periods. And I would say it's still not late to put in a solution in place that can read market signals. Yes, you've seen inflation. Yes, you've seen disruption, right? But it doesn't mean that you cannot protect yourself further. You can use artificial intelligence to monitor the risk on your commodities, on your categories, on your suppliers today. The last thing that I would recommend is to create a simulator tool that can look at the fundamentals, understand what are the different scenarios of all these events that are happening. How will the world react to it? How can you react to it? Create data pipelines that automatically feed in the fundamental data into the simulator, and then marry this with forecasts, with accurate price forecasts that can automatically change using artificial intelligence, using ML techniques to then automatically switch course as soon as there's a new event that happens.